Okay, so today I'm going to do some test cutting with these four items. It's a regular folder pocket knife, it's a small axe, and a Sundanese guluk and a Sami knife. I'm going to do this on a bulletproof vest. Now, a little caveat here, the bulletproof vest is not completely new. It is actually beyond the date where the producent guarantees it, so it's kind of expired. However, the seams and the fabric is intact, and it hasn't been through any sort of traumatic injury or anything for the wearer, so it should be intact. I also checked the seams inside, and I have actually handled quite a lot of these throughout the years because I used to sell them, in fact, they usually last a lot longer as long as the pocket that holds the fabric inside is intact. Usually they can last for a lot longer than the producent guarantees. Still, that's not to say I would in any way, shape, or form recommend using one that was gone out of date. It's your life is going to depend on it. But anyway, using a brand new one is just too expensive. So this is an old one. I'm going to test cut a little bit with these weapons on it, and we'll see how it goes. Just so we understand what we're dealing with. Alright, so a vest like this, it's made of a fabric called Dynema. It's kind of the same as Kevlar. Basically, it's a very tight woven synthetic fibers that disperse the energy from the bullet, and also makes the bullet deform so that it will have less penetrative power once it reaches your body. Now, I'm not an expert on this, but my immediate thought is that a bullet is much more energy dependent in order to wound somebody than a blade is. Because I mean, just look at a bullet from small arms, which this is made to protect against. If you just take the bullet, it's almost impossible to hurt somebody with just that bullet. It needs to be propelled from a gun at very, very high speeds, high velocity, so in order to have any injuring effect. Whereas a blade is propelled by your arms, which will have, and of course to a certain extent your whole body, the amount of power that you need to generate for it to be dangerous is less. So just as a item, a blade is substantially more dangerous than a bullet in and of itself. I'm going to first just try cutting, and then I'm going to do thrusting. All right. So I'm going to start off with this Sami knife. It's a pretty good chopper. This is made by a very good knife maker called Strömming in Karasjok. It's a really good tool. I have no idea how this will hold up. I'm going to try to keep the cuts separated from each other so that we can investigate after how it went. So I'm going to cut low and from the right to the left, and then I'm going to thrust high. But basically the fabric should be the same thickness all the way, same here as up here. So first a cut with a Sami knife. Alright, that was a Sami knife. I'm gonna do this guluk, which is more substantial. This is handmade. This is from West Java. That felt like it actually penetrated less somehow. Maybe because I kind of chopped into it, which is more what I do with this. I'll try to do this was here, and I'll try to do a more like a cut here. That didn't work all that much better. Here's the axe, classic Fiskars hand axe. I'm gonna put this one here. That felt like it so far did the least. Surprisingly enough, because it's actually, I would have thought that this would have done more, but we will see when we investigate. And this This is primarily a thrusting weapon, but I'm going to give it a cut here. Okay, so that was the cuts. They are down here. What I can see immediately is that I went through the outer fabric with all of them, not with the exception of this. I cut through only the first layer of fabric with the axe. With the guluk, I went through here and cutted myself slightly into the Dyneema. There's of course several layers of Dyneema, so that's why and I cut it the most with the Sami knife so far. Now for thrusting, I'll try here again with the Sami knife. One more time. Alright. Now this one, that felt like it went through a lot more. The axe again, do that one here. And finally this one, which my just immediate idea is that this will go through the best. Okay. So, while I still have this, I'll just cut the silver tape, the gaff that I had here, and we will examine this one. Okay, so hope you can see this well. This is the first here is the Sami knife. I'll actually take the whole thing out so we can look better at it. So everything went through this. This is just to keep it to that you can wash this. That's the idea with it. So as you can see here, we got through almost everything got through somehow, but nothing came out on the other side. Nothing, none of them. Okay, there is zero. All the side here is intact, and you can see here this is the cut with the Sami knife. I went through some fabrics. This is the cut with the guluk. Actually, it went deeper than I thought, because compared to, this is the Sami knife, the guluk actually went deeper, and this is what I thought would happen, but it felt like it cutted less. Here is the axe. It almost did nothing, and the cut here with this knife actually went through a bit, maybe 2 layers. I do not know how many layers, but there are several. Now as for the thrust, this here very small thrust up here, I don't know if you can see this, is with this blade, did not go through. Let's see here. The one that's easiest to see is actually, I almost didn't go through anything with any of them, except this one. I went a little bit deeper, but still, basically, I'd say that this is thrust proof. That's a lot better than I thought, because I thought that I would have gone through. Now I will try this again with it hanging like this, because there is a big difference when there is something immovable like a tree behind it. So if I try to thrust here, you know, still I didn't get much deep. Nothing happened on the other side. If I try with this one, I'll see. Well, that felt like I went in. It's a bit hard to see where. Maybe if I cut off the outer layer here a little bit, open it. So this is just nylon on the outside here. Let's see where we got. Bring this one out. So as you see here, this is how the bulletproof vest looks like on the inside. It's just several layers of this material. And here we can clearly see that the cut I did with, I hope you can clearly see this. This is the cut, this here is the cut from the guluk. This here is the cut from the Sami knife. The axe is this vertical one here, did almost nothing. The thrusts, They did something, but you know. Oh yeah, you see here, the deepest thrusts I got was with the small folder, and yeah, that got through quite a bit, but still didn't get through the final layers. So all in all, what we can say is the small thrusting blade was the one that got the deepest, and cutting did very little. The two best cutters was actually this one and the Sami knife and the Golok. The axe did next to nothing to this. That would have been almost like a blunt instrument. Now, take into account that was a very, very small knife. No, a small axe. I'm sorry. That's a small axe. A bigger axe would probably do more. Alright, so I hope you found this interesting. From my perspective, I've worked professionally carrying vests like this, and I've been attacked by knives, so it's really nice to know that these actually do protect quite well. Alright, thank you, bye bye.